Okay. Hey guys. How's my mic volume compared to the... Oh, no, I should probably lower it down a little bit more. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure the music's not too loud over me. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and start. Some people's already said hi, so I'll start now. So, what's up, y'all? Brand Panty Gamers here. I'm making this a short live stream because recently we just got a major update patch note. Voice crack. Major update patch notes that's gonna come out tomorrow on public, 10 o'clock UTC time. I forgot. I don't totally know what that one means, but you guys can look it up if you want. But yeah, this is a short live stream. The reason why I want a live stream because I want this video out right away, so that I can share it to people and give my review. But there's also reason. But you guys might be asking, why am I exactly doing this? I don't normally do live streams of this kind of stuff with patch notes, especially if it's fast, or even if it's fast. Well, let me tell you guys, I am a bit nervous to tell you about the whole notes because I will say this update has a massive, shockingly, but also somewhat upsetting, or like an upsetting change that I will go to a bit later. So yeah, let's try and stay calm once I get to that one. Because I want to, like, hear me out basically after reading it. Because I don't want anyone to jump to conclusions with this stuff. Because trust me, I will admit I did it, and I completely stopped myself by reconsidering it and actually understanding why the changes were made. So yeah. And heck, the devs actually did it too because they wanted to reason it in their patch notes. So I hope you guys will understand that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the patch reviews. If you're wondering how I got this, the content creators of the Phasmophobia actually got these updates, and I took a picture of them reading the patch notes so that way I can read it for myself. I will say I will admit I've already read it myself. But I'll go ahead and read it again because there are some parts where I got confused, but maybe reading it again, I'll probably be able to understand. So let's start with this one. This is actually called the Tempest update, but also the Christmas update for this 2022. Let's read it. Welcome back, we got an update for you. With all of the recent paranormal interference, the weather around certain locations has become more hazardous and intense. Ghosts have been haunting locations longer and longer each night, with some disappearing just before the sun comes up. Will you brave these new conditions? With this update comes a host of small features, improvements, and options. Additionally, there will also be another larger update in the near future, 8.1, to add more features and surprises. Sounds exciting. From now on until early January, you can take part in the Phasmophobia 2022 Christmas event. Earn yourself a unique holiday trophy for your collection as well as an exclusive... Okay, the stream buffered. Jeez Louise. Well, not that it buffered, it just randomly disconnected. Not even my stream... Normally Streamlabs would tell me if it did, but it didn't, so that's weird. Hey chat, or viewers, are we still there? Please be sure to talk in chat so I know it's still active. Okay, so yeah, Anyway, what I was saying, from now on until early January, you can take part in the Phasmophobia 2022 Christmas event. Earn yourself a unique holiday trophy for your collection as well as an exclusive holiday 22 ID card and badge. Interesting. Find out more information by clicking the holiday sticker on the main menu. We're still good? Okay, good. Alright. Now, the next one I'm nervous to talk about. And I want to start reasoning, and I'm gonna put a lot of reasoning behind this. Because this is a massive change, but also could be upsetting. It was to me, at first, but that was a bit premature of me, and also immature at the same time. But hear me out when I show it. Before I show it, I wanna... Hold on, let me put it up on the thing. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'll just put it over here. All right, now here's the massively change, and what could be upsetting depending how you guys see it. But again, let me explain first, or hear me out after I read this, because there's a good reason for this. But here, I'll go ahead and read this first. Reward changes, custom difficulty. With the addition of custom difficulty, we've seen so many exciting, unique, and challenging games being created, but we'd like to redirect what the purpose of custom games is, and there are several reasons why. It's lagging a bit? Hold on. YouTube's telling me so far it's all good. Some of you are probably already reading this, but yeah. This is a stream, so not like I'm making any cuts. Oh well. I'll just continue reading anyways. So, let me see. But we'd like to redirect what the purpose of custom games is, and there are several reasons why. So here's what's going on. We'd like custom difficulty to be primarily used for fun and interesting games, with unique twists, similar to other games with a custom games mode, without the worry of how much you're getting out of it. It's very difficult, and another one, it's very difficult to balance each option's reward to have a corresponding and fair reward multiplier. Because of this, it's incredibly quick to create games that are potentially much easier or faster than their default difficulty counterparts, but give the same or even more rewards, which makes the default modes redundant. With our analytics and player data, we can see that the large majority of players still play intermediate and professional. Okay. Having a set reward per custom option makes them very fragile and limits what we can change for the default difficulties, or any future difficulties we'd like to add to the game. Interesting. Lastly, with the large upcoming changes with Progression 2.0, we'd like experience and money to be gained fairly for every player, and try to avoid any cheesy reward tactics if we can. Now here's the main one that definitely shocked me, and I prematurely kind of overreacted in this one and overthought this. But here, because of these reasons, we're making the following changes to custom rewards. Custom difficulty will now have an 80% reduction applied to the reward multiplier. We know this is a huge change, but this should separate custom games into a challenge and fun mode, and keep the default difficulty as the main route for character progression. In the second part of this major update, coming soon TM, we'll be adding something special for those wanting a regular, harder challenge and nightmare, and something super special. No, current and future challenges like the Apocalypse Challenge will still be accessible in custom and still grant trophies for your collection. Alright, so that's the biggest change here, and this is what's getting... This one is starting to get controversial in the community, in the Phasmo community, because recently I went to their Discord server, and so far, a lot of people are arguing about this, and it's almost turning into a drama now. Sorry about talking drama, but like that's why I'm making this stream right off the bat. Oh, the music stopped. Hey, nope. Okay, but yes, guys, unfortunately, custom difficulty is being massively nerfed. Well, there's nothing changed by, like, you know, customizing the game. What's changing massively is the reward you're getting from this. Now, there's a good reason for this, and after reconsidering and hearing this good reason, I honestly think we should accept this and also respect this. At least that's me, but you guys can dislike this change all you want. Like, I won't, like, no judgment. Everyone has their own opinions. We want to keep things, like, you know, I guess, civil. So, yeah. With that being said, hear me out on this. The reason why they did this is because people have been using the custom difficulty to abuse the money and XP farming. And this is why they did this. Because people would choose different difficulty that's much easier to them than nightmare difficulty. Like it said here, is making the normal modes, such as amateur, intermediate, professional, and nightmare mode redundant. So, like, what's the point of having them? It's almost sort of like abusing the system, and that's what they mean here. A cheesy reward tactic. Like, people are doing cheesy ways of doing reward tactics. And another word for cheesy is abusing. So yeah. Oh man, how should I start this? So yeah, the reason why they did this is, yeah, like I said, the reason why they did this is because of how people have been using, like, you know, what they easily do just to get more reward than nightmare difficulty. And yes, in a way, this is technically abusing the system because. And also removing the learning experience, because the whole point of harder challenges is to learn from them. And just using things easier to your advantage by custom difficulty and still getting a lot of rewards for that, it seems hardly fair if you think about it. And to be honest, ever since custom difficulty came out, as I tried it more and more on, I felt there was something off about custom difficulty, and this is exactly what I felt off. It felt cheesy to just use custom difficulty to grow more money and XP. Heck, I was still having fun doing a no evidence challenge in my last stream, but on the inside, it felt cheesy to have a 5-time difficulty for doing that. Even though it was a no evidence run and it still was pretty hard compared to nightmare difficulty, then yeah. But that's also what I'm neutral about. Like, what do I side about this one? Like, what do I side on about this? Because, personally, in my opinion, doing challenges, shouldn't they, like, at least reward you more? Even if it's through custom difficulty? But at the same time, just thinking about it, I don't know, like, you're only choosing easier challenges for yourself and still getting a lot more money out of that rather than trying something else different. So, yeah, the main point is, they're trying to not make custom difficulty the main way of farming and growing more better, even though you're technically not. Think about it. So that's why they're using the default difficulties, such as professional, nightmare, and all those difficulties, the main way through character progression, just like this one it says here. So honestly, I do think this is a necessary change, because this one, people would use it to abuse the system. Technically, we were too. The only reason I had the wheel of all that stuff is because finally we can do challenges and customize our game. And plus, technically most games who have custom games are doing the same thing as Phasmophobia, but Phasmophobia is actually doing it better in this state. What I'm saying is that there are most games out there. Rocket League is actually one of them. You guys probably remember Rocket League, right? We haven't touched that game in a while, but maybe someday we'll get back to it. Rocket League is one of them. Like, you know, there's matches you play on, and the way you progress is by playing online, right? But Rocket League also has a custom game, right? Where you can customize what game you like to play, what field, what score, what movement, all that stuff. Yeah. And in that one, you don't get any rewards in Rocket League when doing custom games. And I'm fine with how Rocket League is. So if I'm fine with how Rocket League is with their progression, with their game progression and their custom games, why should I worry about that for Phas? And technically, if you think about it, Phas is actually doing better than even with this nerf, Phas is doing better than some of the custom games, because the custom games in most games, they don't reward you with anything. In this case of Phas, they're still at least rewarding you something, even though it's small. Which is better than almost any other custom games out there. And technically Gmod 2 is like a custom game itself, but you're not being rewarded by anything on that one, you're just trying to have fun. So yeah, I do think this is a necessary change. And for people who like use it to abuse the system, yeah, sorry, but you're gonna have to start accepting this as a... Start accepting... Bleh. I cannot speak. But you gotta know what I mean. You gotta start accepting this as a fact. It sucks. It sucks, but it's the truth. And people need to learn to rely on the truth, not just their opinions on things. It's okay to have an opinion about that, but you can't use your opinion just to paint what people should do. That's just not right at all. So if you ask me, this change is completely necessary. The reason why I was against this at first was because an 80% reduction feels a little too much. I understand why I need a reduction, but at one point I was like, that's a little too much. At least nerf it down to 50% or something like that. But no. I'm starting to accept this as a fact. And I'm starting to accept the way they changed the stuff. Because, again, if you think about it, most games that have custom games, or custom difficulty, or whatever, most of those games don't give you any rewards. And that's fair. Because the only way you can progress your game is by actually playing the game rightfully, and not without any customizing. That's not... I mean, I know that's probably not like that for some games, like Ultimate Custom Night from FNAF. But if you think about it, then, like, yeah. Maybe some games out there can still be rewarding, but most games who have custom games understand why they don't have any rewarding. Because then people would just find something that's easier for them and easily use that to farm money and XP. And yes, that is in a way abusing the system. And that's why that's why I respect and accept this decision they're making for custom difficulty. Again, at first I overthought this and overreacted, and I hate myself for that. But after reconsidering and also hear the reasoning of this, then I think this change of custom difficulty is necessary. People need to start going default if they want to go game. If you want to go game progression. If you guys want to play in your own way, then you have the custom difficulty, but just don't. But if you don't get rewards or even get little rewards, let that be an expediency. Also, hi Wallog. So yeah. Understand that this was a necessary change, and really reconsider this. Because like when I was seeing the argument in the Phasmo Discord server, well, everyone who agreed to this change has actually been people who disagreed. Obviously, I can't show that right now because that would be like somewhat privacy or something like that. Like, you know, I don't want to like show people the thing on Discord. Yeah. It's quite funny, yeah. Literally, the big update's coming tomorrow. Well, it's not out now. Technically, it is out for content creators of Phasmos. But yeah, we just played this yesterday, and we're literally already getting patch notes. So yeah. So tomorrow, guys, I'll definitely be streaming this game. So yeah. But understand why the custom difficulty had to be changed like this. Like I said, I like Rocket League the way it is, and it has custom games, but doesn't give you any awards. So If I like Rocket League the way it is, then why should I worry about something that Phasmo is? True, they both may be different games, but a game is still a game. And they should be, like, you know, done as so through by their own systems. Well, by their own system, not really that, but, like, just by, like, the gaming system overall, if you know what I mean. Anyways. Whew, alright. I hope you guys understand. I know there's probably more I could have said, but I kind of forgot. But I think that's it for this one. The custom difficulty is a necessary change, period. Like, you'll still get rewards, at least be happy with that. You shouldn't... When it gets to games with custom games, you shouldn't be getting rewards in the first place. Which is why I thought custom difficulties was, like, could be used as a cheesy way to get rewards. So yeah, understand that. And I'm hoping people do. Alright. On to the next one. There's still more, guys. There's still more. I'm gonna go through all the patch notes. Wait, no, yeah, there we go. It'll be much, but I'll do it. Alright, now there's more here. Oh yeah, here. They're also making this up. They're also trying to make it up a little bit for the custom difficulty nerf. Alright, anyway, investigation bonuses. To compensate for the above changes, in other words, the custom difficulty changes, we're adding some additional reward for playing well in the default difficulties, which will reward players who have the sharpest eyes for ghost identification. We'll also be changing the rewards for secondary objectives to encourage players to complete the primary objective each game instead of ignoring it. So let's see. Added payments paid to the journal. I could only assume that you'll probably see what payments you're about to get after you leave. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see when we get this update. But like I said, it is coming out tomorrow, so I'm hyped. Investigation bonus. If you can identify the ghost correctly and escape alive, you will double the money and experience you earn for the primary and secondary objective you complete during that contract. That sounds big. Freaking music. I'm also using the Christmas music from Phasmophobia back from last year. So yeah. Alright, perfect investigation bonus. Now this is how people get perfect games. If you manage to complete the above, but additionally collect the bone and fill your journal with 3-star photos, you will gain an additional sum of money and experience on top of the investigation bonus. Secondary objectives have had their rewards reduced to make way for the investigation bonuses. Note that investigation bonuses are affected by the difficulty multiplier. So yeah, this in a way buffs the default difficulties in exchange for nerfing the custom difficulty. See, the main point like I said, the main point why they're doing this, guys, is that they want to use the default difficulties in order to be the game progression. The custom difficulty, oh my god. I know exactly what I wanted to say, but I forgot. Like, I know, or yeah, there. Like, I know you guys probably will, I know some people, or actually some, or maybe even most people, will feel discouraged to play custom difficulty. But that's probably the whole point. If you wanna like progress more and grow up more in the game, then it's best to go default difficulty and try the hardest one they can do. This is part of the learning experience, so if anything, they're trying to make people do a learning experience, which is good. Because if people stop learning, they're gonna eventually get weaker. So, and if anything, you should kind of thank them for this kind of stuff. You can still customize the games and all that stuff. It's just that you won't get many rewards as before. That's the only difference. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for that one. There's still more. I'll let you guys know when we're in the last one. Okay, now this I'm actually excited for. I did not mean to do that. This one I'm actually excited for. Hold on, I'm gonna quickly change it. There it is. How many more updates? I don't know. There's a lot planned at the moment. But I will say, even though they changed the custom difficulty, they are going to change the rewards again. Possibly including custom difficulty after the progression update comes out. So, even though the huge nerf for custom difficulty was an upset to some or even most people, let's be patient and wait for the progression update, because that one will because things will change for multipliers, I believe. Things will change, so for now we'll just have to accept difficulty as it is. It's only it's okay. The massive nerf, according to the Phasmo mods of the Discord server, are just a temporary band-aid, in a way. Something like that. They said like that as an alliteration or something like whatever. When does the update come out? It comes out tomorrow in UTC time. So I'll be prepared for me to stream. There we go. Alright. Anyways, I'll go ahead and read this. Ghost types. Now here are the ghost adjustment parts. With every update, we like to look into which ghosts need some love. We found that some ghosts needed some buffs and some needed changes to help with low evidence runs. Now this is where things start to change, and it's kind of coincidental too, because me as well as Wallug literally did a no evidence run yesterday. And now here we are, them just it's giving us patch notes about the low evidence runs / no evidence runs. So this is interesting. So this is for all ghosts. Hunting ghost models flickers are now synced across all players, which should also help hunt photo reliably. Or the reliability. I'm assuming that's actually good because like some people tend to try and get a ghost photo through a hunt. And I'm assuming the more flickers, that like, you know, the photo will now be caught a bit more often than before. So that's good. When hunting, ghosts now affect lights at the same range of the equipment, if on the same floor. So if it's a Raiju, it's 15 meters. If it's all other ghosts, it'd still be 10 meters. Interesting, that's something for me to update. Now, here's the new change for a Wraith. Wraiths have been adjusted to match their journal description better. Wraiths will never step in salt pile. An updated journal weakness. Interesting. In a way, logically speaking, that does make sense. Wraiths are never meant to touch the floor in the first place, and them stepping in salt, the fact that you can still see a footprint, still doesn't make sense. So yeah, in a way, this one does, logically speaking, it makes sense. But it does make recognizing the Wraiths a little bit more harder. But hey, who am I to judge? But you also may be asking, so if the Wraith can't step in salt, what happens if you get that salt objective? I talked to the mod about that. Well, I didn't really talk to it, but they said that was an oversight and that will be changed. So I don't know what the change will be, but it'll be something like, you know, with the salt objective. It might be like, you know, something else to do with salt objective, or they might remove the salt objective and exchange it with a new secondary objective. Who knows? That will be safe for another time. Now this is what a lot of Phasmo professional players like. The Obake. Obake have finally remembered how to shapeshift. During a hunt, Obake have a 6.66% chance each time it flickers to shapeshift into a different ghost form. They will then return back to their original form. That's going to be so interesting to see. I actually want to try and see that if I get a Obake. And see if I can see how it changes its form. And if you guys don't know what I mean by changing its form, it means change their ghost player model, I believe. Sorry, player model. Their ghost model. So what does it also say? This is guaranteed to happen at least once per hunt. So keep your eyes peeled. Yeah. The difficult part about this is that you have to try and look at the ghost at all times. But at the same time, it'll cost you to be in line of sight of the ghost. So the best way to try and figure this out is to try and loop it. If you know what I mean. And I know they made it harder looping for Obake because it's hard to, like, you know, see it shapeshift. But even professional Phasmo players still tend to loop the ghosts and they still survive. So there's probably still a way to loop them. So yeah, on to the next one. My throat's already getting tired from talking so much, and we're not really close to done yet. I would appreciate the chat will still talk, just so I know it's still active. Alright, here, the Revenant. This is where things may get somewhat interesting. The legendary Revenant had been left behind in the ranks of the new threatening ghosts, so we're finally returning some former glory to the Speed Beast. And adjusting how this ghost hunts. Hopefully placing them back on the podium. You guys still here? Okay. Just that no one's been talking that much. So it kind of gets me concerned if my stream stops or not. Okay, anyway. Instead of slowing down instantly after losing line of sight, Revenant will keep their increased speed until reaching your last known position. Their speed will now decrease gradually over 2.7 seconds in 0.75 meters instead of instantly. You stretch at the moment you're listening? Okay. Now this is a buff for the Revenant. The reason why it's saying that it's been left behind in the rank is because the Revenant's weakness is that it moves like 50% slower whenever it's not in line of sight of us. But thanks to the new sprinting mechanic, we can easily outrun the Revenant if we're not in line of sight of it. Of course, that's not possible when you're in long hallways like the prison, the high school, the asylum, all those big maps that have long hallways. That's not going to be possible for that, but when it gets to the small map, the Revenant is weak. I've kind of seen this happen. Some people were able to even, loop a Revenant because it kept getting slower every time they broke line of sight of them. So in a way, the Revenant wasn't even a threat anymore by that time we learned how to sprint. Or they added a sprint mechanic. So, this is now the Revenant's finally being a more scary ghost, but honestly, I'm actually proud of that, because, the Revenant being down so much, like I said here, being left behind in the ranks, I wasn't too worried about even a Revenant anymore by that time. So now that they buffed it, it's gonna be a real concern. I'll just stick with this on music. Oh wait, no, not this one. This one. This one I love for Phasmo's Christmas music. Alright, anyway, now, yeah, thanks to the Revenant being buffed like this, it's gonna be definitely one of those dangerous ghosts now that it used to be. Now the Goryo. This has been an issue for a Goryo for quite a long time. So yeah, here we go. As Goryo have a history of disobeying their roaming changes, we finally put an end to their over-exploring goals. Goryo can no longer change favorite rooms or roam long distances. Thank you. Because last time, there were times where I had a Goryo that was roaming so much instead of staying in the ghost room like the journal said it would. But there was a big bug that's forcing the Goryo to roam longer, or way more farther than this ghost room than being in the actual ghost room. So the journal thing, due to that bug, it's like the journal was opposite of that. So yeah. Alright. Hantu. Hantu's secret abilities visuals have been adjusted. So the Hantu's cold breath will now play in any room during hunts if the breaker is off. That's actually good, because there used to be times where there's a weakness that the Hantu has, or to hidden ability, I think. I don't know, but the Hantu has an ability to where if you see its freezing breath, that's when you know it's a Hantu, because no other ghost is capable of showing their freezing breath, even if they have freezing temperatures. The Hantu is the only one you can see your cold breath, but with this change, it can see its cold breath in any room if the breaker is off. That'll help it be that giveaway if we see that cold breath of the ghost. But however, remember, there's only the cold breath you only see during a hunt. So yeah. Anyway, the next one is Hantu cold breath visuals have been improved. Interesting. I'm assuming that means that probably means the freezing temperatures might also have a different look. Or your cold breath or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, Yuri. Yuri can no longer use their ability when there is no door in its current room. Unfortunately, I feel like this was bad. This was a bad change, in my opinion, because Yuri doesn't really do much. The only time you can figure out Yuri without evidence is that it closes the door completely. But with this new change, it makes it where it rarely does that. So figuring out a Yuri is going to be hard if I do no evidence run. Heck, let alone even do 1 or 2 evidence. So yeah, I don't know if that's a really good change in my opinion, but yeah. I think that's all the ghost adjustments, so... What ability? The Yuri has a hidden ability to where it can completely close the door out of nowhere. Because not all ghosts completely closes doors from one interaction. The Yuri has the ability where it can completely close the door by only one interaction. That's the ability the Yuri had, but no other ghost has. So yeah. Just trying to ignore like the other things that just show up on the screen. Like I said, these are just screenshots of me, like, you know, or people saying doing something. Anyways, here. So new. The Unity rendering pipeline has been updated to URP. So I thought URP standard for Unity render pipeline, but I guess it stands for something else. So hopefully one day I'll figure that out. But for the moment, it now added a new URP update. So finally, things will now have good visuals. So hold on, let me see. Let me just read all this before I make my review. Unity rendering pipeline has been updated to URP, spreading some of the load to GPU usage, increasing CPU performance, and allowing it to access new features. And yep, reading all this, the fog has returned. When they added the new Weather 2.0, guys, the fog was being a bit of a problem. Like, they added the fog too, but then the fog became a problem, so they temporarily removed the fog. But now that thanks to this new URP update, they can now add the fog back. Let me see. Fog will now only be where it makes sense and has received a visual overall. So fog will now only be where it makes sense. I'm going to assume this. Fog will never show up in any of like the roadhouses or street houses, but it might show up on like the camps or even the farmhouses. Because I guess, like, you know, from time to time you will see fog in like forests and all. And farmhouses are usually in like places like that. Same with the Camp Woodwind. Or Camp Woodwind, well, campsites overall. So I think if you ask me, I think the fog will only show up in the farmhouses and camps. But that's just a theory. Map out reference. But yeah, anyways. Let me see what else. Locations will start at the same temperature as clear weather. 8 to 15 degrees Celsius. Good. Sunrise weather has been added. Locations will start with temperatures between 10 to 18 degrees. Sunrise? Now this one, I'm actually confused, but what is that supposed to mean? Are we gonna somehow hunt the ghosts during the daytime? I don't know what that means. I don't know whether or not to be good about that, but... I don't know if that's like a good thing for horror aspect, but it sounds interesting, so who knows? Okay, let me see. Weather effects have been completely recreated from the ground up. Rain and snow have received large performance increases and improved visuals. Interesting. I thought the rain and snow were okay, but... Hey, I guess let's see how the improvements change. New graphics options have been added. Skylight. For enabling sun or moonlight in each location. Okay, what? Is this seriously trying to tell us that... Is it seriously trying to tell us that we can literally have a sun on top while ghost hunting? Will that ruin the horror experience? It probably will, but at the same time it sounds interesting to see if we were to, like, hunt the ghosts during the daytime. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think. It sounds interesting to me, I just don't know how that will change for the horror aspect of the game. Anyway, what else? Screen space, ambient occlusion, okay. Fog quality, fidelity, effects 1.1, AI upscaling for better performance, only compatible with blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, anti-aliasing options. Okay, what else is new? You can now place crucifixes. Now this one I love. I really love. Because not only can you place crucifixes, but read this one. When placing the crucifix, you can now see the range of its effect on the environment. Thank you. I may be good at math, but there's one thing I suck on is measurements, such as meters, inches, feet, etc. And I never knew what the range of the crucifix was like. At least I didn't know exactly, but now that they add this, you can now see the range of effect. You'll see like a big circle or something. Like the sound sensor, for example, you see like a range on the map. But in this case, if you try to place the crucifix, you'll be able to see the whole radius of like, you know, how much you'll fill up the room with the crucifix. So that's very good. I love that. All post-processing effects have been adjusted. Hold on. All post-processing effects have been adjusted and improved. I mean, I have no idea. It might affect the horror aspect. Yeah, I do think it. Yeah, I do think the sun will probably affect the horror aspect. Probably badly, or downright. But it does sound interesting to me, so I'm willing to give it a try someday. At the same time, I'm also someone who's not a fan of horror, so well, don't take it the wrong way, but I care less about whether horror is there or not. Okay, added a text option for voice recognition. This will show UI for selecting what question to ask on the spirit box and Ouija board. Now that I don't understand. Is it trying to tell me that is it trying to tell us that it's gonna have like a little wheel of emotes saying, where are you friendly, and then all you gotta do is open that wheel and then click on what you want to ask, so that you don't have to talk to the ghost? I don't know if that's what it means, but if it is, that's kind of cool, just in case people don't have mics. So that's cool. Anyways, if you swap to a new PC or reinstall Windows, your save will now revert to your personal cloud backup. Interesting. Alright. Oh man, my throat's already hurting from talking too much. I really can't, like... I'm not good with speeches and overall stuff. You tried Spirit Box and you don't know if it was working? Well, if what I said is true about those voice lines or whatever, something like that, then maybe you won't have to worry about talking to the ghost. Did it stop? I thought I put this on loop. Okay. This stream was not as short as I thought. Changes. The smudge sticks burn effect have been improved. Interesting. The haunted mirrors effect and visibility have been improved. Alright. Transparent objects and effects will now receive shadows from light. Interesting. Resetting your save file will now wipe your cloud back up. Well, I can see that being a thing. Improved performance on campsite maps. Cool. Fingerprints have been moved on Willow's door to be more consistently placed. Okay. Radios are now interactable with the breaker off. What? Really? Actually, I guess that makes sense because while true of radios and electronic, it doesn't really need power itself just to it doesn't need to be powered by a breaker or a generator just for it to work. So yeah. Okay, all players must now be further than 5 meters from the Ouija board before it breaks, instead of just the person who activated it. Okay, that's actually a good change because if you guys don't know what this means, there are times where someone who activates the Ouija board should be the one to talk to the ghost when saying, like, you know, where are you, how old are you, are you friendly or something like that, from the Ouija board. And if they're the one who goes away from it, the Ouija board, and even though someone was still staying close to it, the board would still break and the ghost would hunt. But with this change, as long as one player is staying near the Ouija board when it's activated, then it won't break. Just as long as at least one player is still next to the Ouija board. So yeah, that's actually a good change. I know what I said probably sounds confusing, but maybe one day I'll get the idea. The Ouija board will now auto deactivate when walking outside the map. Okay. I never knew that was a thing. Unless I did, I just don't remember. Sandy pills no longer disappear when using them. Instead, they now drop on the floor and are no longer usable. Interesting. Improved all candle wax effects when lit. Improved 2 hiding spots in sunny meadows, one by the restricted area door and one in the restricted wing. I have seen one of the devs play their own game, Phasmo, and one of them kind of complained about how a hiding spot was supposed to work as intentional, but it didn't, so he died in that hiding spot, and now he was like, yeah, screw it, I'm definitely improving that hiding spot and make it more reliable hiding spot. So yeah. And small tent cloth is now translucent. Don't entirely know what that means, but I think that just means you can see through the small tent cloth? Maybe. Alright. I think this is the last one, and then that'll be it for the stream. This one just fix this. Ugh. Sorry for that, guys. I am really... My throat is really hurting already for just talking so much. Alright. Alright, fixes. The average sanity objective will now complete at the same time for all players. So, yeah. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Because I think, well, I don't remember that being a bug, but I do, but maybe some people reported, I don't know. I don't remember that being a bug. What's another one? The bone will no longer spawn inside other objects. Yeah, that was still a thing, so glad they fixed that, at least hoping that they did. Tripod no longer count as electronic equipment after removing a camcorder. Didn't know that. Willow windows are now the correct way round. Okay. The complete daily weekly challenge will now only trigger when a daily challenge completes, instead of when it progresses. Okay. You can no longer scroll to another item while placing something. Well, I never really did that anyway, but yeah. The ghost room will now show on the board in the truck in training. Wait, what? The ghost room will now show on the board in the truck in training? I thought that was always there. Like you know, the board would always, well, not really the board, but like, you know, the cardboard would have like a paper saying, or like something to say like, the ghost's favorite room is currently this. I thought it always had that. Oh no. I don't know what board they're talking about. They're not talking about like the map board, is it? That would be cool, because I would like to see that. Or curious to see that. The Yoga Spirit Box reply will now work if you are not crouched. Don't know what that means, but okay. The morgue door VR grab point is now in the correct position. Hitting the crouch button Then physically crouching in VR no longer pushes you enough into the floor that the ghost cannot kill you. Don't know what that means. Computer monitors in prison no longer turn off when the power is off. The ghost repel stat will now count if you are not the host. Yeah. There have been some bugs recently from Phasmo that like things will only work for the host, but not for the other players who are non-host. Also, hey bud. I am close to ending the stream because yeah, I'm just here to explain the thing, but this is the last page. Okay, in Sunny Meadows, the female hallway light switch will no longer toggle the utilities room's light. Okay. Journal on/off buttons are much clearer to understand. Okay. The allure accept button will no longer be clickable until you scroll to the bottom. Yeah. The object's move stat will now correctly count poltergeist throws. Cool. Your inventory will no longer break if you grab more than one item before joining a game. Room reflection will now be accurate after turning a light on and off quickly. Russian and Ukrainian fonts will no longer have gray boxes around most characters. VR death room spawn position is not correct. And that is all the patch notes. So yeah, this is a really big update, I gotta say. I'm loving the ghost adjustments. I'm curious to see what the sunrise one means. We're not really gonna do the old daytime stuff. It sounds interesting, but I wonder how that will impact the horror aspect of the game. That was a lot. No kidding. So what do you guys think of the update so far? I'll go ahead and give some people time after reading all that stuff. I just hope you guys still understand about, like I said, I hope you guys understand about this one. Why this was necessary to change this. There. Whatever. Sounds interesting, incredibly detailed? Yeah. I don't know how people will take these word changes. Obviously, it's going bad. Obviously, it's going bad to the Phasmo community, so... Yeah. I know why they decided to put reasoning in this, because they knew... Because, like... I gotta give it to the Phasmo devs, because if they just prematurely put content difficulty will not have an 80% reduction applied to the word multiplier without an explanation, people would complain a lot. But after giving their reasoning, well, there's still complaining going on, but at least this is a way to convince them as to why they do it and why it was necessary. And yes, I do think this custom difficulty change is necessary. You can't just improve just by your own. You can't improve like that in your own way. I mean, I know it sounds like weird or something like that. I don't know how to say it, but I know it just sounds kind of eh. But like, you gotta start improving in different ways. That's just a part of growing up, not just in one way or another. Try to improve in like multiple ways. I don't know what I'm saying. Well, I'm definitely not wording things right. I don't think so, but. You gotta get what I mean. This change is necessary, period. Whether I like it or dislike it doesn't matter. This is a necessary change because of the abusive. Because of the people use it as like, you know, a cheesy way to get money and XP. So this is a necessary change. I'm definitely gonna go to sleep after this. So, like I said, I hope you guys understand. The reason why I streamed this right away rather than waiting was because I want to start giving my reviews and also to hopefully make people understand and to avoid jumping to conclusions with the custom difficulty. I wanted to back up the developers as to why they did this change and why it was necessary. I don't know what time it is for me. It's about to be 3 a.m., so I gotta head to bed. Is the lobby changed or not? I'm pretty sure the lobby changed. It is a Christmas update, so I'm sure there's gonna be like some Christmas decoration in the lobby. I'm excited for that. So yeah. Who knows what it'll be like? Who knows? There's probably gonna be like a Santa Claus ghost or something. There was a Santa Claus ghost in the last update in Phasmo. Well, it's not exactly a Santa Claus, but it was like one of the ghost models having a beard, a Santa hat, a cane they were holding, and a Christmas outfit. I think. And then you can hear him, like, you can hear the jingle bells around him. I didn't get that in any of my runs because I don't know why I didn't, but I guess I was just unlucky. But hopefully this time you'll be able to see the ghost model that actually had those jingle bells. Basically, the Santa ghost, in a way. Like I said, it's not exactly a Santa Claus, but yeah. Oh god. Oh man. Alright. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for joining me. If you're watching this video, I hope you guys understand as to why the difficulty changes were necessary. And also, share your opinion, what you think about it. You can still say you can still say if you hate the custom difficulty changes if you want, but like I don't mind. But please understand and respect why they did it. That's all I ask for. Can't wait for the update. Oh yeah, it's coming out. Remember, the update's coming out tomorrow UTC. So yeah, by the time being, I'll probably stay up a few nights. Maybe I'll do it with Logan or possibly some others, obviously. That we'll be doing this new update. I'm excited to see what the ghost adjustment is. I'm weirdly excited to see what the sunlight/sunrise weather means. We'll be able to hunt ghosts during the daytime. We'll see how that happens. I don't know. I could be wrong about it being daytime. Who knows? But I'm curious what that means. I'll be ready to change again when it comes out. Yep. Oh man, be ready. Alright, with that being said, thank you all for watching. And yeah. Oh god. Yeah, you know what? Peace out, guys. God, yeah. Yeah.